What's happening, board game people? Okko Chronicles Cycle of the Earth launched on Kickstarter last Tuesday and quickly funded. It's since been knocking out stretch goals, and yesterday the announcement many of us were waiting for came. They've decided to include an option to pick up all pieces of the Cycle of Water. Today, we have a quick Kickstarter guide walking you through everything available in the campaign and giving you a small overview of the game itself. Before we get started, you should know, all opinions are my own. I do not receive any money from game companies to make videos. My interests are with the consumer and gamers like myself. If I get something wrong or we disagree on something, let me know in the comments and we can talk about it. If you want to see more content covering crowdfunded games, unboxings, reviews, and news, then consider subscribing to our channel and helping us grow. If you're already a subscriber, please leave a like and help us reach a wider audience. Okko Chronicles Cycle of the Earth, Ramparts of the Empire is a 1 to 5 player tower defense type game with a target playtime of 60 to 120 minutes. The game can be played in classic mode where one player will play as the evil hero, the Black Tiger, or in cooperative mode where all players join forces to fight against the undead onslaught. Ramparts of the Empire is set in the perilous mountain range of the 7 monasteries, where Okko and his companions has traveled to investigate a mysterious cult working under the symbol of a raven. Okko and his companions must defend an isolated bastion against the army of the Kurazu and defeat a sect of evil monks at the heart of the army. Their only hope is to hold out until reinforcements from the Imperial army arrive. Throughout play of the game, the heroes will be managing defenses, ordering volleys against the invading army, or venturing out to exterminate monks on the battlefield. All the while, the powerful ninja, the Black Tiger, is working in the midst of the heroes, sabotaging their efforts and biding their time until they can release the atrocity within and end the heroes' futile efforts. There are different scenarios to be played, and they're adding more scenarios to the scenario book through stretch goals, it seems. Pledge levels are pretty simple for the time being. There's just one. If you want to grab yourself a copy of the Cycle of Earth, Ramparts of the Empire, you grab the Kurazu pledge for about $94. Yep, pretty simple to me. Now when we get to the add-ons later, that will get a bit spicy. So what will you get for your Kurazu pledge? You'll get the core box and all unlocked stretch goals. Let's take a look at what's in the core box. In the core box, you'll be getting 41 miniatures, 16 3D fortification pieces, 175 cards, 8 identity cards, 15 chapters of Tiku's memoirs, 125 tokens, 15 dice, and 7 double-sided tiles. The miniatures I've seen for the game look amazing. They're very detailed and unique sculpts. They'll look exciting in any mini collection, and for me, they'll be a new theme that I'll be able to add to my collection. The dice for the game look really nice and readable as well. The core box also contains a rulebook and 10 scenarios. So I mentioned that the campaign's been knocking out stretch goals. So far, at the time of filming, they've unlocked 8, with the 9th looming just on the horizon. Stretch goals, while seeming well planned, are fairly priced, and there aren't large inflated gaps between them. It's quite refreshing to see. Unlocks include 5 Bushi warriors, 5 bowmen, 3 arquebusiers to help defend the fortress, an additional double-sided map tile, 2 scenarios that start a new campaign, Mitsu Hattori, the head of the Karazu sect, 2 more scenarios to continue the new campaign, and another double-sided map tile. I have no doubt that we'll be seeing many more stretch goals unlock in the coming days, so I'll keep a close eye on this one. Now on to the spicy stuff. Let's look at the add-ons available at this time. First up, you'll be able to pick up an extra set of 16 dice for €10. Then we get into the additions of the Okko Chronicles, the Cycle of Water. Really excited me to see this being added, and I've only heard great things about the Cycle of Water, and it's been on my buy list for some time. First, if you don't have it, you'll likely want to grab the Cycle of Water core box for €80. This comes with its own campaign and everything you'll need to jump in and start playing. After that, there's a list of expansions and add-ons that goes on and on. Never fear though, we'll find a handy package at the end of this list, and if you're like me and you just need a copy of everything, that'll be for you. Now, everything from here on out will require that you have the Cycle of Water core box to play, so keep that in mind. Most of these expansions include miniatures, cards, tiles, sometimes followers and new characters, possibly even more. You can click on the link under each expansion on the add-on list to see exactly what's included and to get an idea of the story it's adding into the game. I'm going to simply list the expansions and give you an idea of the scenarios it adds. I may not have everything perfect, so please pardon any mistakes, and please look for yourself before deciding what to get. First up is the Monastery of the Silver Plum for €20. This expansion is a Kickstarter exclusive, so I assume this is one of the few times you'll be able to grab a copy. I believe this includes a 3-scenario campaign and 3 standalone scenarios for play. Next, we have the Heroes for the People for €35. No specific amounts of scenarios are mentioned, but it seems this is a longer campaign edition. Then, for another 35 euros, we have the Palace of the Puppets. The Palace of the Puppets adds 2 campaigns with 3 scenarios each, as well as some of my favorite minis from the line. Next is the Den of Penagolin for 25 euros. This expansion includes a 5-scenario campaign. Then we have the House of Jade Pleasures for 25 euros. This expansion does include a scenario book, but I was unable to find how many scenarios or campaigns are in it. Next up is the Doors the Jigoku for 40 euros, making it one of the more costly expansions. With this expansion, you receive some truly awesome miniatures and a scenario book packed with 10 scenarios. Then we have the Oni Hunters expansion for 20 euros. This expansion allows the entire cycle of water to be played in a cooperative mode without anyone needing to play the demon. For me, this is an absolute must. After that, we find the Legends of Pajan at 15 euros. This expansion introduces the campaign mode to Okko Chronicles, allowing your heroes to learn and grow from their encounters. This also introduces penalties for wounds that will follow your characters throughout their adventures. For 25 euros, they're offering the Cycle of Water storage box that will store all the minis from the entire Cycle of Water. This is hard to find from what I hear, so if you want it, it might be best to snag it now. Then comes the art book for 20 euros. If you're like me, art books can be a hard pass, as I just don't have room for them to be laying around. But wait just a minute. This art book includes a special campaign designed by Hub, the creator of Okko. So, I always have room for more gameplay, and any collector won't want to miss out on this. Finally, you can get the Bunraku miniature for $10 to add even more challenge to your adventures. So if you're like me and just jumping headfirst into the world of Okko Chronicles, you can grab the All Expansions add-on for 235 euros and you get everything. This includes all of the expansions, the dice pack, the art book, and the Bunraku miniature. You'll need to add the Cycle of Water core box separately. Don't forget that. And with that, a relatively cheap campaign is now not so cheap. But I'm okay with this. I really can't wait to play the Cycle of Water as well as the Cycle of Earth. Add-ons can be added through Kickstarter by modifying your pledge and adding them there. Or if you'd rather wait, you can grab them in the pledge manager as well. But that won't help us get through those juicy stretch goals. So my thoughts on Okko Chronicles Cycle of the Earth? Well, tower defense isn't something I normally get all excited about, but I will admit I enjoy the digital tower defense games, and this is something that will be filling a hole in my collection. I don't own anything of the sort, so it'd be fun to bring out and play on game nights, I think. The miniatures look fantastic, and I'm pretty sure the table presence of the hordes of undead tearing through the walls of my fortress is going to be amazing. I like the idea of the Black Tiger, and I might even opt to have someone play them if there are enough players. It sounds like a fun role that'll mix up the strategies and keep everyone on their toes. I do worry that once the Black Tiger transforms, the game may be a bit unbalanced, but I think that's something the players will just have to learn to plan for. The miniatures really excite me. I've heard the quality of the Cycle of Water miniatures is top-notch, so I expect these will be as well. They're unique in my collection, and something I think I'd really have fun painting eventually. I've heard grumblings from several sources that the rulebook can leave a bit to be desired, and while the rulebook linked is still in a prototype phase, there may still be a bit of ambiguity and loss in translation you'll have to deal with. That being said, there are plenty of posts on BGG and other sources for the Cycle of Water to clear up any questions, and I'm sure there will be for this as well. Just know this is a possibility getting into it. This game is definitely a labor of love by its creators, and if you need something with a rich theme that'll keep you guessing and second-guessing yourself as you develop a strategy to survive an onslaught by an undead army raised by a vicious cult, then this is the game for you. Personally, I'm all in. I think it's going to be a fun game with a fun campaign to follow. Let me know in the comments if you're backing and what you like or dislike about this version of Okko Chronicles. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing and tell your friends about the channel to help us grow. We appreciate you all. Remember to back responsibly and play something fun tonight.